Hi, Attorney Michael Potter here, and in this series we're going to be talking about the limited liability company, what they are, how they work, why they're so popular today, and what their uses are out there in the marketplace. First, just a little bit of perspective. The limited liability company is owned by its members, unlike a corporation that is owned by shareholders. Now, limited liability companies have become very popular. They started out in the late 1970s and early 1980s in Montana, Wyoming, and Nevada, and spread out throughout the United States. But they actually have been around much longer than that. They were popular in Europe and in South America, where they were used to limit liability and to help protect the owners from being exposed to further risk. Now, the limited liability company, when it was brought to the United States, really had a primary purpose of attracting foreign investors into the United States. Prior to that time, many of the natural resource projects like oil and gas investment projects and mining projects and things like that were done as S corporations. And as you probably know, S corporations exclude from ownership anyone who is not a U.S. citizen. But with the advent of the limited liability company, we resolved that problem, and it did attract a lot of non-U.S. taxpayers to come into the United States as investors and take part in oil and gas projects around the South and the Midwest, and also in mining projects around the country. And they have also been widely used in the area of real estate investments, commercial buildings, malls, shopping centers, and that sort of thing. So they've become a very popular device for limiting liability, having many of the same asset protection features of a corporation, but having more tax flexibility in the area of planning, so that allocations of profits might be taxed a little bit differently according to the membership shares and how they're allocated and so forth. We can get into all that later, but just want to look basically at the function of the LLC today. Now, the limited liability company has become so popular because of its flexibility and its ease of use. All 50 states have now adopted the limited liability company as a form of its company, and a few states have begun to emerge with a new form of LLC called the Series LLC. Now, we'll get into a separate discussion of that in a future video, but today we just wanted to talk briefly about the limited liability company in contrast to the corporation. Now, corporations and LLCs can be set up for different periods of time in terms of their length. Additionally, an LLC can be limited by a certain number of factors that add to its attractiveness. Also, the LLC does allow non-U.S. citizens to participate in ownership as members of the LLC, and at the same time, it gives members the opportunities to be managers if they wish to be. Now, many LLCs today, modernly, limit the management to maybe one person or two people, or perhaps a small board of people, so as to have continuity and ease of management decision-making. But under the rights of limited liability companies generally, all of the members may participate. It's just that it's not practical all the time. So many times you'll see a management committee, or perhaps in some cases a single individual or two or three people serving together as the manager of the LLC. And those managers take the place of a corporation's board of directors, and they also wear the same hats as the management of a traditional corporation, the president, vice president, treasurer, and so forth. All of those functions can be rolled up into the management of an LLC. So it's quite flexible, it's very easy to use, and you can see that they have become very popular. One word of caution, though. Even though the LLC has been adopted in all 50 states, they're not all created equal. That means some states have more protective laws than do other states. Also, some states require a lot more disclosure of information that you might consider confidential or private, or just none of the state's business. So, some states give you a lot of privacy, some states do not. Some states have a very high threshold for asset protection. Other states are more reasonable and allow you to have a strong measure of asset protection without the complexity that other states require. So if you'd like more information on that, I'd be glad to share it with you. We have formed corporations and limited liability companies all across America. We're glad to help you whether you are a U.S. citizen or a non-U.S. citizen. If you're interested in the area of limited liability companies, go ahead and shoot me an email at the address of the bottom of your screen. Now, in our future videos, we'll be talking about other components of LLCs. We'll look at the series LLC for one, and we'll look at how they function compared to traditional LLCs and how they might be used for different type of businesses. I'm attorney Michael Potter, and I look forward to hearing from you.